The Beast Within is another episode that was burned off in the summer of 1996 instead of being shown in order. And it's the last episode for a while that develops the side characters. The show is about to hit its creative stride with a series of episodes about good, evil, and the thin line between them. But first, we have this stop, which goes back to the theme of family and obligation, something the show layers over the top of its entire run. We open, as usual, with Caleb snooping someplace he's not supposed to be, a jailhouse. In this case, though, it's clear that he's dreaming. Dozens of disembodied hands claw at him from the cells before he hears a prisoner at the end of the hall call for his father.
Father? Where are you?
Lucas Buck appears and hands the man a shard of a mirror before disappearing. The man slices himself open and shows Caleb his bloody hands to end the dream. I'm sure it's probably just something he ate for dinner. Once the episode begins proper, we catch up with the man that Caleb dreamt about, alive and well, and haggling over a watch at the local electronics store. When the salesperson quotes him a price, the man pulls out a gun and ties him up. And some people are really serious hagglers.
What kind of car you got?
I don't own a car. I ride a bicycle.
Elsewhere, Deputy Ben laments that his son doesn't list him as one of the men he most admires for a school paper. Lucas, in true Lucas fashion, gives him a pep talk about power and status and tells him that he needs to do something to make his son respect him.
Who's driving this car, Ben?
Me.
And why is that? You're driving because I believe in you, because I know you have the potential for greatness.
Almost on cue, they get a call for a robbery in progress, and Lucas sets Ben up to be the hero.
Ben, who is this person? It's my brother. Your brother?
Unfortunately, the store owner goes all Rittenhouse and screws up the plan. Wounded, Artie drags Lucas out as a hostage over Ben's frantic warning. The scene is played for drama, but also a fair bit of comedy because Lucas is clearly just annoyed by the whole thing. And Ben is deathly afraid of what Lucas is going to do to Artie, despite Artie being the one with the gun. Lucas convinces Artie that they're not going to make it to the base with him bleeding out the way he is. We also get a very Joss Whedon-y line with Lucas saying that he knows a better target for Artie to shoot, before immediately cutting to Matt Crower. Matt is trying to help Gail parse out the meaning of Caleb's dream. They're interrupted by Artie and Lucas storming in.
Got a patient for you, Doctor.
Caleb recognizes Artie as the man from his dream, which creeps Caleb out because he heard an old wives' tale that you dream about the person who's going to kill you. Artie clears out the hospital so Dr. Matt can take the bullet out of him, leaving Nurse Rita and Deputy Ben to talk to him from the outside. Artie tells Ben that he escaped from the psych ward and they share some sibling friction. So with Lucas, Gail, and Caleb as hostages, Dr. Matt has half an hour to remove the bullet without Artie's pulse dropping below 45 or him losing consciousness because, wait for it. Wait for it.
Tell me what.
Artie has sewed a bomb into the fat tissue of his stomach, and the watch he stole is a detonator.
Better get to work, Doctor.
As things calm down a bit and Dr. Matt goes to work, Gail starts to speculate on Lucas's motives. She thinks he's orchestrated the whole thing.
You should view it as an act of seduction.
Lucas recounts the story of how Artie and Ben's father took them hunting, and Artie accidentally killed their father with a misfire. He explains to Caleb how it proves the importance of a good father figure.
Maybe this little adventure will make him realize how important a father can be.
Never let a crisis go to waste. Dr. Matt successfully removes the bullet, but Artie blames Ben for telling Lucas the hunting story. Ben swears innocence, but there's no reason for Artie to believe him because he doesn't know about Lucas's powers. Speaking of, Lucas says he's tired of waiting for Ben to be a hero and, true to form, Ben accidentally ruins Lucas and Dr. Matt's plan to inject Artie with a barbiturate.
His timing's impeccable, ain't it?
This results in Artie panicking and shooting the tire out of the ambulance that's supposed to cart him back to base. Dr. Matt's hand gets broken in the fracas. Lucas makes a deal with Artie to exchange him as a hostage for Deputy Ben, since Ben ruined his whole plan in the first place. Gail, Caleb, and Matt think Lucas is selling Ben out, but of course Lucas is just extricating himself so he can set up the plan for Ben.
How'd you get out of there?
Gail and Caleb convince Artie to reconcile with Ben, which he does, but then Lucas jabs him with a needle to knock him out. With Dr. Matt's hand broken, Ben has to perform the extraction of the bomb and toss it into the basement. It turns out to be an old bomb shelter. Ben gets credit in the press and a date with Rita, all thanks to Lucas. That night, Lucas appears to Caleb in a dream and offers to guide Caleb after the passing of his father. But Caleb shoots him in the stomach and walks away with a smile to end the episode.
Like you said, it was my dream.
Well, I don't know if I'd call this the best that American Gothic has to offer, but it's certainly one of the best written episodes. Writing a race against the clock story is always easy to make compelling, but this episode also manages to pack a lot of wit and heart in along with the plot. Lucas in particular has some great quips.
If you think I'm going to respond to that kind of behavior.
The episode also moves at a sharp clip, bridging scenes together in a way that always keeps the forward momentum. Of course, I'd be remiss in not pointing out that Lucas arranges things so that he can come out looking like the reluctant hero by using some reverse psychology. In fact, it's Gail and Caleb who convince Artie to make up with Ben, and all of Lucas's plans go awry. Even the one that did work was Dr. Crowler's idea in the first place.
It's a short-acting barbiturate. It's gonna knock him right out.
So Lucas was actually a detriment the whole time, but he comes out of it receiving the credit by trying to be magnanimous.
To the hero go the spoils.
Pretty neat trick. All that said, I can imagine fans wanting to skip this on a rewatch. It doesn't contribute much in terms of the overall narrative. That's probably one reason why it wasn't broadcast until after the show was canceled in the first place. Still, it's worth a once-over for Shaun Cassidy's fun script.